Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. It's a joy to be here with you this morning. Greeting you from York, Maine on a sunny and fairly warm fall day. We've been blessed with some good weather this week, which is nice to transition through the seasons with. The leaves are turning red and we get a little bit of rain, which is always good. So Mother Earth is really embracing us, even though the world around us seems to be telling stories otherwise. Good morning, Leonie. Good morning, Julia Krantz, Sorobitz. Love to see you all appearing in this beautiful envelope that we embrace each other within, this envelope of peace, light, and love. Today's topic, Beyond the Limit, came about as most of my talks do, fairly spontaneously, yet driven by a week of experience and looking forward to what's coming in the near future, which is, of course, our new moon of Libra, which brings a whole new aspect of energies for us to deepen into, and for us to now, as we embrace this energy, need to look at limitations and our limitations, the limitations we place on ourselves, as well as the limitations the world and the outside influences put on us or put us into feeling guilty about or fearful about. Dominique, Julie, Charlie, good morning. So I just finished writing my notes, which can be tedious. I've been interrupted several times by, I call it the forces of darkness, and as I speak to them, I look and I just say, keep going. I'm not going to stop. You're not going to stop me. You're not going to disempower me. You're going to interrupt me and you're going to distract me momentarily. And as I say that, this is part of moving beyond the limit, because we all have those experiences where things just keep getting in our way, a wall, a fence, something interrupts us, interrupts our thought, interrupts our daily pattern, interrupts our family situations. Those interruptions are just energetic frequencies that really have only as much power as we give them. And this is what we need to move beyond, is how, and this isn't in my show notes, how we sort of betray ourselves and give away our power to what we feel is more powerful than we are. And in that process, we're actually creating a sense of limitation within ourselves. So, thank you, spirits and guides, for that information. Love to be here and do this. So as my notes start off this morning, it was good morning. Thank you for all being here. And the key words of this new moon, we'll start with the moon, the Libra new moon coming. The key words are beauty, love, relationships, friendship, pleasure, values, sharing, equality, diplomacy, charm, tact, decision-making. Woo! That's a lot. So this moon is a gift. And I will say this moon is a gift to me because I came back into my body during this moon 27 years ago. So it has a special relationship for me. I feel that renewal energy and the thankfulness that I embrace every day for every breath I take, and the opportunity not only to share with you, but to just be here on planet Earth in this physical beingness, and being able to communicate with others. So the Lubar moon is also, it's about reestablishing a balance that has been lost. As I deepened into this, we become unbalanced as a natural process of going through the cycles of the planets and the energies and the chaos and all of what's happening around us. It does create an imbalance in us. And I'm looking at this period of rebalance as a period of rebalancing and reestablishing balance, stimulating opportunities to arise for creativity and balance, focusing on deeper self-relationship with a desire for peace, harmony, and balance. Inner justice, the scales of justice, and a greater sense of beauty and gratitude. Happy Friday to you, Janice. Good morning, Lisa. So here we are at a gateway, an opportunity to embrace our limitations, our perceived limitations, and realize that they have no real power. They only have the power that we surrender to them. And in our sovereignty, we've got to stop that. We've got to stop giving our power away to things that we think are beyond our control and or somebody else is controlling, and take back that sovereignty and that inner balance and become the scale masters. Yeah, become the masters of the scale. We're not just a commodity on the scale. We are the masters of the scale. So as I wrote those words this morning, I wrote what came to my mind, or my body, was that's a lot to be a part of. I'm not sure I can handle that. And that's my human self. That's my 3D self speaking. And I love it because it's not fearful of making me aware of my fears or my feelings of impotence or not being enough. And so all limits that arise are arising so that we can be recognizing them as boundaries that serve many purposes, not all of which are negative, and only being a part of an energetic form, a greater energetic form, which not only we are within, but it is within us. And how do we balance that? My first card was actually the card that set the mode for this. I'll see if I step back. This is an elliptical galaxy. It doesn't have a name other than NGC 1132. But it's a picture of what merged galaxies might have looked like billions of years ago. And we as humans can think of ourselves as a merged galaxy. Each one of us is another star system, an individual, and we're gathering together. And that power of gathering together is really, as you can see in that picture, very, very brilliant. And this is what we're to do now, in these days of what we see as utter chaos is to shine brighter, to be seen more. Not so much we have to be a critic on everything, but just to stand in our power and not allow things outside of us to limit us and our actions that we feel with our hearts. So the card reads, I am without limits. Interesting. Part of the reading is, my thoughts are powerful magnets and they reach out to the universe. As I access the power of the universe, I then reflect on the power of the Creator. The power of the Creator is the power that flows through us. There is no separation. There never has been. It's all been a story that has been told in order to allow some to rise up above and rule over others, which is necessary to some degree, but without stepping on the sovereignty of each individual. And now we're seeing the last of that. And I say it's the last of us because I believe it's the last of that. It can no longer support itself. It's unsustainable. We talk about an unsustainable environment that we're creating. Well, humanity is unsustainable at this point because it's taken its limitations and made it easy for others to create limitations in order to control each other. This is how we got here, is by accepting limitations. And we need to get back to our unlimitedness. Second card I pulled this morning was from the Soul Inspirations cards by Kalia, my friend Mia, who produces these. And it reads, to open to the grandeur of the universe, beyond the limit of what it seems. Let me say that again. Open to the grandeur of the universe, beyond the limit of what it seems. Everything seems or appears as something. It's when we take things at their face value that we set a limit on what's available to us. Every one of us does this. It's perhaps a natural, inherent part of us as human beings to do this. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong or right about it. That's a judgment. But when I look at my own limitations, I have to be open and honest within myself to say, who accepted those? And I have to say, why, I did. And so the focus really has shifted for me this morning to not so much as who and what is creating this outside of me, but how am I and how are we, all of us, agreeing to this? Because that's where we have our power. This is where, in our thinking, we have the opportunity to put this aside, not to dismiss it or ignore it, because it's a message for us. But it's our purpose now to not allow that to stop or create a limiting factor in the expression of who we are in our hearts. So I looked down at my bookcase and I saw a deck of cards, and it was this deck of cards that I've never used. Ask and it is given cards. And you can see it's Esther and Jerry Hicks. So our friend Abraham, many of you are familiar with Abraham, the teachings of Abraham, or conversations of Abraham, whatever you feel about it is what you feel. And so I randomly picked a card from this deck. And the card, it was amazingly this one. I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. Little girl, hair flowing, flowers, stars in the sky, happy, dancing. I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. As I read the back of the card, which I will read to you, I realized that really this is our self-limiting. This is what it's talking to, is when we accept our negative thoughts or our less than thoughts, what we're doing is we're setting our own limits. And then we turn around, well, so-and-so, I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that. Or this can't happen because blah, 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 blah. The mind's an amazing creature, isn't it? All into itself. That's why I love to call it the original AI. But it's a process that we need to stop. We need to stop limiting ourselves. And Abraham's message is, I'll read it from the card. Always be reaching for the feeling of relief that comes when you release a more resistant thought and replace it with a more allowing, better feeling thought. The stream of well-being is always flowing through you, and the more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. An amazing expression that the stream of well-being is always flowing through you. Think about that. Just stop and imagine this stream of well-being, be it a liquid, be it water, be it golden light, flowing through you. The stream of well-being is always flowing through you. The more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist it, you block it, you divert it, you refuse it. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. Who is the key activator in this? The stream is always flowing. But we, through our judgment, through our inability to cope, through whatever we're experiencing, are the ones who allow the flow or disallow the flow. This is our sovereign power. This is how we move beyond the limit. We are the one that turns the knob of limitation. We can do it with anything. We can blame it on the moon, blame it on anything. But it's we who have the power to not diminish the pure presence of peace, light, and love to flow through us. Take a deep breath. take a deep breath and maybe give yourself a hug. Let yourself know how much you love you, how precious you really are, how in these days of extreme confusion, psychological and physical unrest, days of leadership without love, which was my last week's talk, are affecting us. Every move we make, every breath we take. But we have the power to allow it or replace it. So I don't know what that says to you, but what it says to me is that when things upset me, when things bother me to the point where my functioning as a loving being, as a peaceful being, as a bearer of goodwill to others is diminished, then at that moment, I have chosen to be limited. So we can all see this universe and our higher self is really encouraging us right now to find where we are experiencing limitation in our lives and to step beyond it. Or let it go by us. Not engage it and hold it. That's the key. Don't hold it. Choose again. Choose the better feeling, whatever the option is. If you're not feeling good, well, I know I'm not feeling good about this, and I have a reason and I have a justification. But what's a better feeling, thought? And in doing that, we're really creating, co-creating with Source, a new commitment to accepting ourselves as a more loving and compassionate being of light. And I know you're all beings of light. It took me a long time for me to accept that in myself. And now, once you do accept that being of light, yeah, you have human issues just like everyone else. It doesn't go away and say, oh, I'm living in this beautiful dream. No, we're still in these physical bodies. And for those who do or may experience that, I would like to ask them, is it 24/7, 365? And if they're speaking the truth, they will say no. No, there are times in all of us where we don't have the best feelings that we can. But this is the gift. This is the gift to us to show us that, hey, you have the power to change this. This is your time to activate and say, it's not about them, it's about me in a non-selfish manner. In closing, I picked up just in the last moment, I said, I know I can find something. Silence of the Mind, Eli Sierra, a wonderful series of books that were translated. He's an enlightened mystic who lived in Eastern Europe. And his writings and teachings were written and recorded for everyone. And when I grabbed the book, I says, well, okay, I'm sure just going to randomly open. And of course, as we randomly open, Spirit says, okay, I have an opportunity to dance with you, Charlie. Let's do it. So I want to read this. And the thing is fear. Oh, I can see it. Oh, there. Fear. And I want to read about fear because fear is what creates the energy of limitation, and it limits us. On our fear, our path on this earth has ups and downs. Sometimes the road is barricaded by all challenges, all kinds of challenges. Sometimes at a crossroads in our life, there are no signs. Here comes the question, beloved travel companion. Where to go? Which is the right direction? Where to go? We do not know. There are many hazards, and the path is dark. We don't have intuition, and courage is lacking. But we cannot stop. Life itself rushes us. All of us have been there in that moment where we're feeling rushed through life and the fear arises in us. Are we good enough? Are we capable? Where is my resistance? What's happening? Once someone told us that within us is hidden all the recorded knowing of life on earth. If we knew how to access it, there would be no problems. The wise solution would dissolve any dilemma. Any man has access to this vast library, for the key is within us as well as in every human being. There is one condition to banish all fear. Right now, in this moment, without delay. Fear is an emotional state closely connected to the ego. This fiction, a bizarre construction, fearful by nature in all its endeavors, which create its structure and its frail universe. Here is where our egos come in. This falsity, this illusion that creates its own reality and plays it back to us. And we tap into it and it triggers fear. And here's the powerful statement in this writing. Fear and ego are one. There is no duality. Here we are, therefore, confronted with this figment of imagination. As ego, we are fear as well. This is our structure. Each time we function in this state. I want to read that again. Fear and ego are one. There is no duality. Here we are, therefore, confronted with this figment of imagination. As ego, we are fear as well. This is our structure. Each time we function in this state. When either fear or ego are encountered in a real way, without any motivations, only as a simple meeting, it dissipates in a flash. In its place, an absolute void appears. We spontaneously become immense without beliefs or acts of will. The inactivity of the mind, the personal mind, leads us to experience the universal mind. Through it, the wise man finds the path of love. These facts create our journey through spontaneous action. Only peace, harmony. Only in peace, harmony, in the revelation of our being, will we know from experience which is the right path. Living on earth, the right direction, will spring from the beauty of love and sacred integrity. This is my wish for you, a life of love and sacred integrity. And knowing that this ability is ours. I'm going to put this in the comments here and send it. Hopefully it posted. This is our ability. This is our purpose right now. Not just beginning with this new moon. It has been like this for a while. But I want you all to tap into it more deeply and see where the ego creates this story, this illusory story of what's happening around us based on our physicality. And then come back into your heart and know that as it's Abraham through Esther is saying, the stream of well-being is always flowing through you. And the more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. May the new moon embrace you and give you opportunities to sit quietly and reflect on moving beyond the limit, whatever limit is for you. Knowing that you are continually guided, you are continually loved, and you are continually encouraged to do this through your higher communication. May you have a good week. See you next Friday. Bless you. Thank you. I love you. It's a joy to be here. Humanity Healing, talking to you all. It's a gift in my life. You are a gift in my life. Thank you. I'm complete. And have a great week. Don't be limited.